America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. No amendment to the Constitution is absolute. And no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined.
Are you worried that other leaders in the world are going to start to doubt that America is back if some of these big things that you say on the world stage keep getting walked back?
What's getting walked back?
It sounded like you told U.S. troops they were going to Ukraine.
And you're going to see when you're there, and some of you have been there, you're going to see women, young people standing in the middle in front of a damn tank, just saying, I'm not leaving. I'm holding my ground.
It sounded like you said it was possible the U.S. would use a chemical weapon.
If chemical weapons were used in Ukraine, would that trigger a military response from NATO?
It would trigger a response in kind.
And it sounded like you were calling for regime change in Russia.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power. None of the three occurred.
None of the three occurred?
None of the three. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well.
Merry
Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
You've been so generous with your time in these difficult days. You and I are going to write yet another chapter in the beautiful story of the friendship between our two nations, the United States of America and the Jewish and democratic state of Israel. Both of us who seek to do good.
Let me start off with two words. Made in America. Made in America. Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps, okay? Come on. I lived in a fence-line community called Claymont, Delaware. We used to get up in the morning, not a joke, when I get driven to the little school I went up the street. Turn on the windshield wiper in the fall, the first frost, and literally be an oil slick in the window, not a joke, an oil slick in the window. That's why an awful lot of us, including me, have bronchial asthma. Well, there are about 16 there I've already gone in for yet, and a lot more are asked, another 20 or so. So I'm going to be going in. I grew up in a place called Claymont, Delaware, which has more oil refineries than Houston, Texas had in its region, just across the line in Pennsylvania. And all the prevailing winds were our way. And guess what? The first frost, you knew what was happening. You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
You have a chance to make decisions and reach agreements which will affect lives for generations to come. You are in a position of extraordinary power.
I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona, last week, President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol. And that's why I asked President Harris to travel to the region last August. But all kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum. What must be what? And by the way, talk of inflation. The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great, So, again, if it turns out that what I've done so far, what we've done so far, is a mistake, it's going to show. The vast majority of the experts, including Wall Street, are suggesting that it's highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. We will, in fact, reduce inflation. Reduce inflation. Reduce inflation. Our economy is strong as hell. The internals are. Inflation is worldwide. worse off everywhere else than it is in the United States. Putin's price hike. Putin's price hike. Putin's price hike. Now Putin's price hike is hitting Americans at the pump. But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway, Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Those who say the blood of patriots, you know, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you want to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. And for those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe. If you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale we use. Xi Jinping, traveling with him, I guess we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact. The MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. So how extreme are these MAGA Republicans? If the MAGA Republicans win control of the Congress, it won't matter where you live. These MAGA Republicans won't stop there. The MAGA Republicans are destroying America. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans are a clear and present danger to our democracy. The threat to American democracy is real. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA Republicans. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards.
Mr. President, do you consider all Trump supporters to be a threat to the country?
No, everyone.
Come on, look, guys. You keep trying to make that case. I don't consider